I'm Eric Kalis, Chief Marketing Officer of Square 2. This is episode number 5 in a video series of building the perfect recipe for a sales enablement strategy. A couple of weeks ago, we had a client mention that they were looking for some sales enablement help, and we decided to build a 7-step video program to help people build their own recipe. Hope you enjoy it. In episode 5, we're going to talk about how to use nurtures and sales sequences in the sales process and have sales enablement make sure that they can help create and execute those. So I read a great article on the HubSpot website a few weeks ago about the difference between sales sequences and nurtures and how sales sequences can really be a strong part of a sales enablement strategy. When you think about nurturing leads, you probably think about the tools and tactics that live primarily in the marketing department. A person downloads a piece of content, they give you their email address, and automatically a drip campaign is initiated. Or we decide to take a certain segment of our database and we want to drip on them with 7 emails over 30 days. That's what you typically think about workflows. But as valuable as these nurture tools are to be for marketers, they can be just as effective in the hands of the salespeople. Instead of workflows, in sales, we call them sales sequences. So when should you use each? Let's talk about that for a second. Workflows or marketing nurtures are better fit when you're sending stylized or image-rich emails. The action can be triggered automatically. Instant follow-up is required. A salesperson hasn't yet been assigned to a contact, or you expect a large number of contacts being sent through the workflow. But in a sales sequence, it's a better fit when a one-to-one relationship has already been established between a prospect and a sales rep, and the content of the communication needs to be highly targeted. And thirdly, a reply to an email would stop after what the next step is, so it's a little bit more customized and not just so automated. Chances are that you and your sales team are already nurturing your prospects, but they're trying to connect with a new lead, sending a resource to a prospect who still has a few months out from a decision, or following up with a customer that's approaching a renewal date. These are all activities that can benefit with the help of a sales tool like a sales sequence. So what are the common ways that sales sequences can be useful? Well, the first thing is you can automate your follow-ups, right? This is the obvious one. You've ended a call with a prospect and you want the sales rep to immediately follow up with some emails and book the next meeting. We can automate that. We also want to look to eliciting a response, right? You're hoping to connect with a group of prospects and keep in touch with them and plan to reach out several times over the next coming weeks. But sales sequences make it easy to kick this process off once, and then you don't have to keep track of all the different people that you're nurturing in your sales sequence. If someone replies, the sales sequence stops and alerts you right away, and now you can continue on the conversation. Also, what about people that have really long sales cycles, right? 6 months, 12 months or more. Sales sequences can help you nurture prospects over a very long period of time. If your sales process typically spans weeks or months or even years, the chances are you want to reach out and stay in touch with those people as they're going through the decision-making process. Setting a sales sequence to drip on them over time with useful content is a great way to build trust and rapport, and it's all working in the background. And also, sales sequences take care of the sending. Your sales team doesn't have to focus on that low payoff activity. They can focus on having rich conversations with prospective clients. While time savings is a big part of a tool like sales sequences, you also shouldn't overlook the ways in which a tool that can help you step up your effectiveness too. For example, get all the ones that the sales teams are using, all the sequences, and put them in a shared library. And note, like, this is good for this kind of prospect, and this sales sequence is good for that kind of prospect. And also scheduling, right? There's a lot of conversation that goes on in the sales process. So we could be more effective with our sales team if we set automatic sales sequences to schedule meetings as opposed to them doing it manually. Look, when you're creating sales sequence, one of the best things about it is that it's relatively straightforward to set up and use. It begins with creating your email templates and then weaving them into a series of steps, usually based on the time length of your sales cycle. Finding and creating content is the time-consuming part of getting started with a sales sequence. And for a lot of teams, the best way to go about it is to start building out a few sequences based upon your current activity, and then track it a little bit, see what works and what doesn't, so that you can start to refine which pieces of content are being engaged with, which emails are being opened, which subject lines are the best, and so forth. Then you can build out a more effective workflow. Once you have a few of these sales sequences built, you could start to use them when sending emails. It's as simple as filling out a recipient on a form and choosing the sequence you want to enroll them in. Look, your goal is to demonstrate that you understand the client's business, you're eager to collaborate, and that the relationship is important to you. So there's so many contacts to be made. Personalizing at scale using sales sequences is a real winning sequence. I hope I got you thinking differently about sales enablement today. If you'd like to have a private conversation with me about building your own sales enablement program, feel free to hit me up and we'll schedule some time to chat. Thank you so much for listening today.